I'm told you can often see bald eagles from here, on the terrace at the Harborside International Golf Center on the southeast side of Chicago. It's in an area long known for heavy industry, and more recently for restoring natural habitat for birds and other wildlife. Walter Marcisz and other veteran birders are seeing more eagles than they've ever seen in their lifetimes.
You got to have old people like me around to put things in perspective because, I started birding when I was 10 years old and you didn't see eagles, you just didn't.
They've seen both adult eagles and juveniles who won't get their white head and tail feathers till they're 4 or 5 years old. Some have been carrying nesting material, though no active nests have been reported around here this year. Field Museum ornithologist Josh Engel says most of these eagles are wintering here or just passing through.
We're real close to Lake Michigan, which is a major migratory pathway, and the bald eagles tend to hang out near water so they can hunt fish.
This is the first time photographer Josh Feeney has been in this area, but he has photographed many bald eagles elsewhere in Illinois. Bald eagles have a wingspan of up to 7.5 feet and are known to fly to altitudes of 10,000 feet. They were plentiful throughout much of North America until the late 19th century. Widespread hunting and habitat destruction led to a drastic decline by the early 20th century. The pesticide DDT nearly did them in after World War II. And in the early 60s, the bald eagle was close to extinction in the lower 48 states.
There was a gap of 30 years when there were no eagles nesting in Illinois. So this is like from 1943 to the late 1970s.
Strong government protections are credited with bringing them back. The last time there was a count was 2006, and there were more than 100 nesting pairs in Illinois.
That's a big success, and it's reflected everywhere. The Calumet area is just one spot.
These days, bald eagles are easiest to find in Illinois fishing along the Mississippi and Illinois rivers. In fact, some experts believe Illinois now has more wintering bald eagles than any state but Alaska. That's all great news, but I came here to see bald eagles, not just learn about them. The good news is that we've got one more shot, an active eagle nest 40 miles from here. It's in Bussey Woods, a Cook County Forest Preserve northwest of O'Hare. Chris Anker is the Forest Preserve District's chief biologist. So we want to take a look at the eagles.
Okay.
Yeah, you think they're back there?
I know they're back there.
Okay. Turns out today they're doing a controlled burn, which Chris says makes the soil healthier. And he assures us that it is safe to walk into a burning forest. It was photographer Josh Feeney who told me about these eagles. He comes to Bussey Woods often, and he first saw them about a year ago.
So I was walking back here about March of last year, and I saw both the male and female. It was the first time I've seen any eagles near Chicago, especially as a pair.
Bussey Woods, it turns out, is huge. 3,700 acres. It's beautiful and wild and wet, and there's at least one skunk. And finally, off in the distance, that blob in the tall tree is the eagle's nest.
I didn't expect it to be that exposed. I expected it to be more hidden after this whole long walk in the woods, but it's just hanging right out there.
And not far from the interstate. This is as close as we'll get, about 100 yards away. But at least we have Josh Feeney's telephoto lens to give us a better look. No sign of the male, who is probably out hunting. At first glance, the nest looks empty. But look at this. The female is hiding, watching us. They tell me she is keeping an eye on us to make sure we are not a threat to her and her eggs. Her nest, by the way, is about 4 or 5 feet wide, and they say it can weigh up to a ton. And like the Calumet area, Bussey Woods has everything an eagle might want.
It's got some big dead trees for them to nest in, a lot of wetland habitat and lakes and ponds for them to to hunt fish.
There's a highway right nearby so they can get into the loop easily to see a show.
Yeah.
It's ironic that we're so close to a major expressway and high rises, and tens of thousands of people pass every day, and the vast majority of them would never notice it.
And yet here they are, living and hopefully growing a baby eagle.
Yep, we're very happy with it.
Yeah, I guess I'm happy too for the eagles and the forest preserve, but selfishly I was hoping to see more than one eagle eye. So a couple days later at sunrise, Josh Feeney meets me back at Bussey Woods for one last chance. So are we going to see some eagles this morning?
Yes, guaranteed. There's some eagles out there this morning.
There are a lot of forest preserves in Cook County. It's the largest urban forest system in the country. But Josh Feeney always comes to Bussey Woods, and it pays off. He knows these woods and its inhabitants intimately.
A couple years ago, I was watching a green heron hunting, and he grabbed a frog head first, all four legs sticking out of this green heron's mouth.
As we walk the mile and a half out to the eagle nest, past logs that are still smoldering 3 days later, Josh tells me that on one visit he made a thrilling discovery.
I was walking down this trail 3 years ago and just happened to look up through an opening in the leaves and saw 2 barred owl chicks sitting on the side of the tree. They're one of the rarest breeding species in Cook County due to habitat loss.
The next day he found the adults. Then we hear the barred owls, and they appear.
I can get really close on them.
The owls are flying around us as Josh gets into position and waits for one of them to land in the light.
Right there.
And it does. Wow. Barred owls can be as large as 25 inches tall, with a wingspan up to 49 inches.
He's taking off.
And then it's gone.
How cool is that?
Wow.
Don't see that very often. This is why you come in the morning.
And this is just on the way to the eagles. But after all this, will the eagles even be there?
Female's in the nest, and her head is sticking up today.
Oh yeah, there she is. Nice. Wow. There's the male. Now I'm satisfied. I got to see 2 eagles and 2 barred owls. But more importantly, eagles are making their way back. Through careful protections and conservation measures, these powerful and stunning birds are moving back into areas like Chicago, where some had once given up hope of ever seeing them again.